So today we're taking a quick break from all of the hardware related content on the channel, and we're going to take a quick look at PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds version 1.0, or PUBG for short. I've been playing the game since it was in early access from around July last year, and I must say the game has come a long way since then. I remember back then the optimization was extremely poor and immensely frustrating, and it's the main reason that I just refused to play the game any longer. I just honestly could not take the game seriously after months of still being in early access with little to no improvement, and I know a lot of you guys feel the same way. For those of you who don't know much about the game, here are the basics. You parachute from a plane with around 99 or so other people, and from there it's a fight to the death. You need to scavenge, loot, and kill off all of the other players and be the last player standing. The safe zone of the map shrinks as time progresses, and if you're caught outside of the safe zone, you'll take damage and eventually die. It's a first-person shooter for the most part, but you also have the option to play from a third-person perspective if you prefer that, and just as it should be, first-person and third-person have completely separate servers, so if you want to play strictly on first-person like most people do, and avoid people peeking around corners, then you're in luck. Now, before we talk about the new movement system that was put in version 1 or anything like that, I first want to talk about the new map, Miramar, because it is a step in the right direction. The developers played it extremely safe here, opting for a very barren map as you can see here. Geometry is kept to an absolute minimum. You can literally count the vertices on these mountains here. As a whole though, I am fairly happy with how this map plays out, and frame rate does seem quite a bit better than the original map. Although that's fairly easy to achieve when the map is just desert and there's not much to render. Now, this map was built with the new movement system in mind, and that means that windows, boxes, and broken walls have all been modeled to the right height to accommodate the player animations and movement. Overall, the new movement system is pretty solid most of the time, but the rest of the time you're left with something that looks like this. So the movement system definitely needs some polishing. The fact that I can just die from climbing a box is a pretty clear example of that. However, I'm not sure if this is due to the animations, the in-game assets, or maybe even the netcode. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Something else that was added for the official release of the game was the addition of a death cam. Now, this was extremely exciting for most people because most times when you die in the game, you just get headshot from across the map. You have no idea where that enemy player was or where they shot you or anything like that. At the moment, the death cams are about 80% of the way there. They show the enemy's perspective and gun, but the player models and aiming are just completely off. You can't tell at all how many bullets they landed on you or even how many bullets they shot. So this needs some polishing as well. Next, let's talk about the most important subject, and that is the extremely poor netcode on this game. Simply put, the packet send and receive speeds are appalling, and you only need to play the game for at least a few hours to know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you can put a full clip into someone and you can barely land a single shot, and other times you can barely interact with the map at all, including picking up loot to save your life. The netcode is typically poorest at the beginning of the map when all 100 players are sending and receiving network data at the same time, and then it generally improves as time goes on and there are less players, but there still are frequent dips below 5 Hz for the server throughout the whole game. If you want to learn more about the netcode and update frequencies, then I highly recommend you go and check out Battle Nonsense. He really does go quite in depth with the netcode of popular FPS games, including PUBG, so I'll drop a link to his channel in the description. Now, this in my opinion, above everything, is what is holding the game back quite a bit. We can talk about the vaulting, some glitches here and there, but a first-person shooter with a netcode like this is not that enjoyable to play when it actually comes time to shoot someone, as you could be experiencing delays of over a full second. And of course, in most games you'll come across the odd hacker, but PUBG is exceptionally bad, especially in the last few weeks. I mean, take a look at this. Here my teammate and I land 3 shots total on this guy, and he just stands there. He doesn't die, he doesn't even bother healing up with a few bandages. I've played the game long enough to know that this player should be dead by now, and I'm pretty certain that he was hacking. And so I think the idea of PUBG being an eSports title is pretty laughable at this point, and it's almost an insult for people who put hundreds of hours into the game and play to win. I'm all for new maps and the gradual optimization of game assets that we've seen in this update, but until the netcode is improved significantly, it's hard to take this game seriously and it is disappointing. And so I want to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you think of PUBG in its current state? Do you think it's eventually going to become an esports title, or do you think the netcode is too far gone at this point? Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and as always, I'll see you all in the next one.